So, Sam, are you originally from? You said the Gaithersburg area.
Yeah, I'm from DC originally, and then Bethesda, Chevy Chase area.
Okay.
And then we were looking, and then we found the Kentlands area, and we were lucky enough to buy a house in March of this year. We love it here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, it's a lot of nice areas down there. When I worked with Mile One, we had the whole shit. What was that name of that group that we own?
Herb Gordon.
Yeah, Herb Gordon.
Yeah. Herb Gordon.
Yep.
Yeah. In
That's
the
right.
in the auto park, the big circle.
Yep. Yep. I haven't been down. I haven't been in that area. It's been quite a few years since I've been down through there.
What did you do with Herb Mile One?
Marketing initiative, training, online, all that good stuff.
Okay. Yeah, my neighbor growing up, it's the only job he's ever had. He's 58 now. So I guess it's been 40 years. The day he left high school, he started as a tech at the Mercedes store. Now he's the service manager, but he's been there 40 years.
Wow.
Pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure I probably
the only
met him once or
other
twice.
job he ever had was he worked at Wendy's during high school. Graduated high school, went there. He's like had a heck of a career there.
I bet he misses Wendy's sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's how it used to be,
Which one pays more hourly now?
I don't know, man. A little scary. But we now he's like, he has a little tie that he wears and stuff. We're like, wow, man, no more turning wrenches. You're big time. He's like, oh, I hate these damn ties. They make us wear these stupid ties. Funny.
Some of those techs make some pretty penny, and they don't have all the headaches the service manager has to deal with.
Yeah, he's had a heck of a career. I mean, he has an incredible house up in Howard County. He's got like 5 acres. He's done well. He's got a nice lake house up in someplace in Pennsylvania. Yeah, he's done well. He made a lot of money as a tech. I think it might have been a pay cut. Might have been a pay cut, but he was like, yeah, body feels a little better. But yeah, he's some sort of like electronics expert. Like he was doing 6 weeks a year of training at Mercedes headquarters, like in New Jersey or something. He's a smart guy.
Wow.
Yeah, he made some money. Yeah.
Good for him.
5 seconds, gentlemen.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
All right. Hello, everybody.
There we have it.
Yeah.
Hello, Alex.
Yeah. Hello, Jeff. And welcome back,
Hello,
David.
man. Thank you.
And welcome to the show, Sam.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, Sam, your first time on, we're going to let you go first. Who are you?
Introduction.
What do you do?
So my name's Sam Goldenberg. I've been at Autosled about 3 years, almost when we started building the desks in the office. I'm now the director of enterprise sales, so I work with a lot of our bigger dealer groups all over the country, and loving it.
So did you start as a desk builder?
Pretty much, yeah. I wasn't much help though, but started, answering phones, assigning loads, getting sandwiches. We were all kind of doing everything then in the early days, and there wasn't too much going on. So a lot of time to assemble desks and reassemble them and reassemble them again. But it's taken off a lot since then. Yeah. So I think my skills are of much better use now.
Yeah. I think Sam was
Alex.
employee three, and so now we have 50, 52 or 53 people now, but yeah, a lot of just doing anything in the early days. So it's good stuff.
Where everyone wears several different hats.
Yep.
Especially that's a great first job for new employees. All right, can you put the IKEA stuff together? And if you can, we can move you to the next role.
Litman's
Yeah,
test.
I would have been fired pretty quickly if that was how they were judging us.
If it makes you feel better.
Sam has a wife that can assemble IKEA stuff. Is what
Yeah,
Sam.
I'm her assistant. I bring her lemonade while she's doing it.
Yeah.
Well, Sam, I got one for you. Kirshner will appreciate this one. We had a guy worked for us who worked with Jeff for a long time. He's a longtime dealer refresher, a good friend of everybody, named John Quinn. And John was with us when we started my company, and he put some of the furniture together. It was pretty funny. We were having, I think, our first board meeting in the new office, and our board chair at the time went and sat in the chair that John Quinn built, and it fell apart.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm going to have to give Quinn some shit for that.
Yeah, he doesn't know about that one.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, David, welcome back. Then,
Good. Thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah.
Looking forward to good talk here.
Well, for those who don't know David or haven't seen one of his past episodes with us, he's one of the founders of Autosled with his brother. And I believe you're the chief revenue officer, right?
I am. And chief desk put together, assembler, I guess. Yeah. So we're a little over, I guess, 3.5 years operationally. We founded in May of 19, and it's been a good ride. We've had a great increase, and Sam has been a big intricate part of that. And he was actually named 40 under 40. He made that list, so he's going out to is it Arizona, I think? Next month for that award ceremony. So really good. But he's been a huge part working with dealer groups and really both sides of the marketplace. He was really big, instrumental in the beginning in helping onboard transporters as we were filling up the marketplace for the transporter side. So been a fun ride so far. We're looking forward to a really huge fourth quarter, and then 24 I think is shaping up good. I'm excited. I'm always optimistic about how car sales and everything are going to go. I think it's going to be a fun, interesting year with this election and see what happens with all this electric stuff, and people can find a charger, and it'll be interesting.
It will be, no doubt.
Already
well, you guys have, I mean, you've only been around for 3 years. You guys have grown quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been great. It really has, and it's really thanks to the dealers. I mean, just the incredible dealers that we work with, and the referrals they've given us have just led to some really great dealer partners, big groups. It's just really, we just have to thank the dealers. They've been so supportive, and as they're growing and buying other stores and referring us to other of their colleagues, it's really worked. And we've been able to just go right across the country. I mean, we started in the Mid-Atlantic with a dealer group here that was our first customer, had 11 stores, and since then it's just really gone. We've dealer groups and I don't even know, almost every state now, Sam. I mean, we don't do a lot in Hawaii, but we take stuff to the border to get into Alaska. But yeah, I don't know if we've done much in Hawaii, but the other states we're doing pretty well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a great growth curve, so really excited about it.
Well, you're thanking the dealers, but you guys should probably congratulate yourselves as well, because they wouldn't be giving you referrals if you weren't following through with your services.
Yeah, no, it's been interesting as far as the customer service team. They're really have taken the ball and run with it. It's amazing that the processes and the stuff that they come up with to improve things, and there's a tech team behind them that they really listen to, and they get a lot of suggestions. We've been able to pump out a lot of updates to the app and to the platform, but it's just really the tech team. There's some young University of Maryland. I gave University of Maryland a plug. We went over there to the comp sci department. I got some young kids. I call them kids, but they're about half my age. But man, they really listen, and they really take what the dealers and the drivers and our employees are hearing, and they turn it into a workable piece of tech in the app. So yeah, it's been a fun ride with that. Just learning.
You mentioned customer support. Do you have a dedicated office, or how
Yes.
large is your customer support? And the only reason why I was bringing it up, I was having the conversation last night with my dad because he was having some issues with his older iPhone,
Mhm.
and he had shared with me he had been on the phone for like 3 hours with tech support. Um, I don't know if it was Apple. I don't think it was. I think it was who he acquired the phone through, a smaller type of service provider. And 3 hours, and it got me thinking about some of the different issues I've had with support, and how it seems all in all, and I know it's sort of off topic, but it seems all in all, customer support across all the channels, across different companies and corporations, it's really gone to shit.
Yeah, so we were lucky. We were able to hire a lady that worked in as a supervisor in the Tesla call center in Vegas. So she's put a team together. I think there's 35 some odd
Hmm.
people in that department. So that's obviously the biggest. And and so there's people that in really there's people in 6 different countries, but in all the time zones here in the U.S. So we're able to cover the phones around the clock, and then 7 days a week. So it shouldn't ever be a time that a call won't get answered or support won't happen. And the other thing is, my brother and our cell phones are out there. I could care less when they call or text. Just I will fix it. So and that was what I did when I was in the dealer business. It was I always used my cell phone number as just dial the dealer direct was my slogan. But
Hmm.
I don't care who calls me, what time, what problem, what issue, or if they just want to talk, I'll my cell phone's out there. And so yeah, we've been very fortunate, and again, you're probably right. That's why it's grown. It's we're
Hmm.
not afraid to answer the phone or get on there. And look, that's the toughest thing in any business. I don't care if we're moving cars, making pizzas, building buildings, whatever. Is telling the customer when there's an issue, but then you just got to tell them how you're going to resolve it.
Yeah.
And it worked, and the team is grown, but we've had very little turnover in that department, and that's something I'm even more proud about. Um, we were talking about that with the team the other day, and there's just been very little turnover. We acquired a dealer the other day, and I won't mention the company. They're moving from one of the bigger ones, and they said every time I call, there's a different person. I have to explain my situation over again.
Ugh.
They must not record anything. So our team's been really good in recording the information, so it should be easy no matter who gets the phone. And that's something we're just look. That's the lifeblood and backbone of our
Hmm.
company.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah.
When it
It's.
starts from the top, it becomes culture.
Well, I mean, look, like Sam and I, we're in the dealer world together. My brother's in the dealer world, and that's how you get judged, right? You get judged by
Hmm.
the surveys and stuff. Now, online reviews and stuff, so it's important. And we want to have positive reviews and stuff out there. But when we talk, our weekly meetings is just that's what we talk about. It's how to, if you ever read the Zappos book and all those kind of things, it has to be the number one thing, because if people are happy inside the company, then they're going to treat the customers happy at the same way,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So that it works. We will never stop marching to that beat.
Well, it was always, the customer's always right. And I'd say, over the past 2 or 3 years, it almost seems like it's the opposite now.
Yeah, I mean, look, the first look, we want to ultimately get to where the communication is through the app, and but people still like to call and want to talk,
Yeah.
and we get it. And the worst thing in the world is hit 4, hit 6, hit 8, and can I put you on a two? I mean, I had to laugh. I was on the phone with bank the other day. Can I put you on a 2-minute hold? Well, it was 12 minutes. I mean,
Banks are
not,
the
and
worst.
I get it. We're everything in this world that we're in today is what fast food time, right? Because we can get
Yeah.
anything we want and we can look up anything we want. But 12 minutes, I'm like, if it's going to be 12 minutes, just tell me it's going to be 12 minutes. Don't tell me you're going to put me on a 2-minute hold. I'm fine. I can manage for 12 minutes. I can find something else to do, but just tell me. and that's the frustrating part. So yeah, we're doing everything we can to try and train and to make sure that the customers on both sides of our marketplace, the drivers and the dealers, because they're both equally as important, get the information they need as quick as they can.
It's like you said, it's the lifeline, no doubt.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the dealers, heard that there's been a little bit of maybe a misallocation of inventory.
Yeah, what's that all about?
There has. I'll let Sam go forward in a minute, but we've seen on the domestic side a bunch of mass transfers between dealers where they're, I don't know, a dealer might have too many Jeeps and not have enough chargers, and where they're trading stuff. So which is interesting because that's pre-COVID. That's how we were pre-COVID, where there was a lot of misallocation. But yeah, we're really starting to see that where there's full truckloads moving between dealers to try and right size their inventory in special different lines.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of wholesale orders, straight dealer to dealer. I'm not through any companies, and honestly, it's probably a better situation right now for the dealer unloading the cars, which it certainly hasn't been that way in a while. And contrary to everything you're hearing about inventory issues, and there definitely still are some that are in low supply, maybe certain models, but for each brand, there lately has been a lot of not just dealer exchanges, but full wholesale orders.
Yeah, question from the audience. Are we talking about new or used cars?
New cars. Sorry. Yeah, we should have. Yeah, these are new vehicles.
I figured that when you were talking about Jeeps and Chargers.
Yeah, there's a new vehicles, and again, we're seeing it more on the domestic side. We have not, seen Toyotas and Hondas and that sort of stuff, the Japanese, but it's some of these domestic are really over inventoried in new. And we've heard that from some dealers. Some of our dealers, we've actually had a couple, probably 3 or 4 last week, just ask, hey, when you're talking to other dealers, if anyone needs any, call me. Give my cell phone number for any of your other dealer partners. But yeah, it's definitely on the new side.
Yeah, especially if they need the over $80,000 models, right?
Yeah.
Which leads me to believe that we're going to start seeing some pretty crazy rebates and stuff. I felt like I saw a TV ad on the baseball game the other night that was 8 or 10 grand off on some new car that they were, which I was crazy because I hadn't seen that. Yeah, so I would guess the manufacturer have to come up with some incentives to get rid of these.
We were seeing that on Rams a while ago. So when Silverados and F-150s were starting to do a little bit of APR incentive and maybe $500, the Ram went straight to 8 grand.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I know it's interesting. As to, it doesn't seem like it's that across the board, all the OEMs, but some of this domestic stuff, I think there's a lot of inventory in certain sections. And
Any idea what caused the issue? I mean, I know it's an array of different things, but maybe you know something that we haven't heard.
I don't. I mean, it would be interesting to see what'll happen with this electric if there's going to be oversupply of these next year. I'm really really curious what's going to happen in 24. It's funny. Sam was talking about my wife wants a new car. He's like, I'm waiting for a deal. I'm waiting for some 0% thing coming, which it probably will be. Right?
I'll be waiting for a while, but maybe not.
I can get a brand new 2023 Mustang. They got 0% on those right now, I think.
Do they really?
It's 0 at like 1.9. It might not be this month, but last month I think I saw something like that.
Why would they do that to that car? I mean, good luck getting one. Aren't they going anywhere?
No, the 24 Mustang came out. It's all
okay. Gotcha.
Gen 6 platform, I think. And
yes. I know you've got your heart set on one.
I do like that car.
There you go.
Yep. Which you would have never said 5, 6, 10 years ago.
No, they can turn now. Yep.
All right.
Very true.
Check it out.
Man, come on now. Like, it might be the last V8. Speaking of electric cars here. Yeah.
Could be.
Kind of like, last hurrah.
We did just trade in a 21 Ram 1500 TRX. six or 700 horsepower. God, that thing's a beast. A beast. Pre-owned, we've got it listed for $81,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'd be nice with an 11% rate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Bank says only 60 months. Okay. Anyway, got a question.
I know we had some notes. Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
Another question from the audience. So when it comes to dealer trades, are they handled differently than other shipments?
Sometimes,
Yeah. I mean, it seems like.
Go ahead. Well, sometimes there's a dealer to dealer trade, and the dealer who's facilitating the trade, a lot of times the dealer they're trading with will say, the car you're giving us has to get here first before we'll release the other car. So we'll put, the other one on hold, the return unit, until we get the first to the dealer, because typically they're the ones doing a favor for the dealer who set the trade up. So just a lot of times they're a little tricky in that sense that it's pretty specific as to the order, which is different than most of our regular shipments.
Yeah, we have some internally in our system that alerts our staff of that if that's the situation, because a lot of dealers, the dealer that initiates, like Sam says, has to deliver that car first before the other dealer will release it. So yeah, we have something in our system that alerts everyone.
Curious on cost for DXs, dealer transfers. So we obviously did a ton of them when I was a car dealer, and we had this group of retired old men who would do the driving, and we typically didn't go very far. It was maybe up to 200 miles, maybe, but most of the DXs were right in our metro area.
We're seeing a lot. I mean, under 100 miles, and I believe for their brand, they're actually not allowed to do that. They have to be trucked. I think they just don't want the miles being put on the car or the liability. But there's certainly a couple of the manufacturers that seemingly don't even allow you to, even if a dealer, we've done some where they're 20 or 30 miles away, and they still have to get transport for it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I did that in my previous life too, and I get it. That's quick and easy, and a lot of times the retirees are hanging around the dealership anyway, and they go. The other thing we picked up a customer, I guess it's been a couple years now, that a F-250 was crashed coming back. So and it was $18,000 worth of damage. So of course the customer that was getting it didn't want it, so he had to go buy another one. So he put a mandate in that everything has to be trucked. So then the insurance falls on us, and the liability would fall. So he was dealing with a bad situation. But yeah, I mean that's still part of the business. I'm not sure if it's ever going to go away. I mean my guy's name was Mr. Pippin. I can still call him Wayne Pippin. I guarantee I could call him right now, and he'd be like, "You got to transfer." And I haven't transferred a car in 4 years, but he was my guy. He'd usually come in with he knew my barbecue stand if we were going close to this one place in Atlanta. But yeah, bring me a plate of barbecue in the new car. But yeah, but but look, we want to tout that we handle if there's God forbid if there's a wreck or anything, that's what we do. We handle that claim and make the dealer whole and get them on if it happens.
Well, for anybody,
but that's a risk
from the dealer side. When I was selling cars, we're talking over 13 years ago now. They were a lot cheaper and a little easier to come by. So now I'd much prefer if I was ordering or getting a $80,000+ new vehicle to have no miles on it. And
well, like Sam alluded to, the Audis and the BMWs and the Mercedes and their franchise agreements are saying they have to be trucks. You don't see those driven. I spent most of my career in the Ford business, and we would drive them, right? We would just throw someone, Mr. Pippin, one of his buddies, in the car and swap, But I get it. You're right. Times have really changed. Price of the cars. I don't know if there is a I don't know if there is a $30,000 new car anymore. I don't know. What, I have no idea.
Not too many
I
of
don't
them.
think so.
I mean,
I don't think so.
yeah, people won't be as picky on that model.
What was
Yeah.
the average payments that you had brought up the other day, Alex?
Oh,
Guys
average
remember?
new car payment so far this year, it's creeping up there. I think it just passed 750, and
Wow.
used cars are 530 ish territory.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're going closer and closer. So prior to the pandemic, the average car payment was under 60 months. That included leases, so that helped bring it down, the term down. Now, with barely any leases going on, we're seeing the average car payment. It's like 73 months or something, 73.8.
Is it
A
really?
lot. That means there's a lot more 82-month financing happening.
Yeah. Wow. Man,
82 months.
it's got to just screw up the trade cycles. Wow. Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Does more than just screw that up.
Yeah. Holy cow. Yeah.
So, yeah, interesting. So you're only seeing it on the domestics. And it looks like we're starting to see more Hyundai inventory. They seem to have some cars, Kia, in some places. This is just what I'm seeing from my seat looking at the nation. And Toyota's seemingly getting some of the right cars.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to be like the price point on the Toyotas is seemingly coming down a little bit. So they're starting to produce more closer to their baseline MSRPs instead of, hey, we got a F-150 that starts at $38,000, but good luck finding one for less than $78,000.
Yeah, funny you mention that because I look out my window and there's a Toyota dealership with the inventory in front of me, and I'd have to say you're right. It's not quite as many of the ones that are completely decked out. We've seen some more, I don't want to say base model, but just not completely loaded up as much as they usually are, especially with the trucks. We've actually had a huge, not a huge, but a nice wave of maybe it's just the leftover Tacomas that are coming through, but they're not decked out. They're a decent price point.
Are
Has
those
the
commodity constraints? Are
say
those
again?
commodity constraints? Are those commodity, or those are how you think, or does the customer desires changing?
That's a good question. I think it's just more of a price point and a payments
Yeah.
issue. That would be my guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be my guess. With what about like with has the UAW strikes has that had any type of impact in your business, or what are you seeing on that side?
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen anything. Hasn't impacted. I mean, our volume,
Okay.
everything's been very, very steady. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's part of
I'm
the reason
I'm
why you're
curious about it.
seeing.
I'm reading the newspapers every day. I don't know what, but the last 2 months been really steady for us. Actually, it increased last month.
Yeah, we've got a Volvo plant right down from my house, not too far, and
Mhm.
the gentlemen are out there striking every day in front of the Volvo plant. Haven't
Wow.
seen that for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Well, that might be part of the reason why the domestics have more inventory than the foreign car manufacturers. So there was quite a buildup. So the domestics knew this was coming, and it seemed like the production of domestic vehicles was pretty high. So they were trying to get the inventory out of the factory before things got shut down, and now they're sitting on inventory, and maybe that's a good thing for them.
Yeah. I saw General Motors. I saw something this morning was securing a $6 billion line of credit. Um, I guess to kind of help during this.
That's some chump change, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So also, heard you guys are doing some nice things for dealers at the auctions, helping them save on some of their costs there. And this is something
Yeah,
you
because
always talked about. It's just been a great part of Autosled from the get go. But is there anything more recent that's been exciting on that front?
You want to talk about Sam?
Yeah. Um, we recently in the last couple months started working with a new partner, and it was interesting. We'd been talking with a while for a while, but their big issue was their arbitration window and kind of what they were suffering through in order to be protected. So we chatted a couple times, and we kind of assured them of, the speed at which we'd be able to move the vehicles. We've actually been averaging, about 2.5 days to delivery, over just under 400 miles. But, we assured them that even we'd be able to get it there within 14 days. And not just that, we were a lot cheaper, we found out, than the alternative. And, it'd be one thing if some of these other options might be the cheapest thing in town and have the worst service, but we actually have been learning that it's been really expensive. So we're hoping that, as we've really just started working together, but we're hoping that that's allowing them to buy more cars and turn them faster and really be an asset to them as a partner.
Or go a little deeper on the bid?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, look. I mean, it's no secret. Some of the auctions are out there selling. Let's just call it an insurance, where you a return policy, whatever you want to call it. And if we can get it quick to them, maybe they don't need it, or they don't need to do it as a blanket across every vehicle, right? It could save them money, and that's the goal. We just have to get it to the dealers quick. We understand that pain. We see the pressure. I mean, internally, our load board, as we see it, the dealer doesn't see it, but it goes red in 24 hours. So it's like this stressful red color that we see it, and that means to us, like, come on, guys, you got to get it. You got to get it moved. So we can look up every day and see what percentage is red versus yellow or green. Green's basically the first half of the day, the first 12, and then yellow the second, and then red the like basically at 24 hours, 20, and it when it's in the 25th hour. So that alerts our staff that, hey, this is important. This needs to get there. That and then they have follow up procedures and stuff as to they're working with the drivers to push them, or if there's an issue to talk to the driver, or even change the driver. So, but that's kind of the red, yellow, green thing that the dealer doesn't see, but we see it behind the scenes to put pressure on ourselves, because we got to support the dealers the best of our ability. But it's speed. I mean, they need it quick. And I love used cars, so I get the speed, and I get the turn has to be quick, and if that's not there, then we're just falling in the bucket with everyone else, and I don't want to be like that. I want us to be able to tout that we can get it quick and get the job done, at a fair price with the speed.
vital. Yeah.
I like that. And being able to guarantee that you can get something there within a certain window.
Yeah.
Never,
I mean, look, my brother comes in every day at 4 a.m. to look at the pricing to make sure, because we feel like the transporter world kind of wakes up about 6. So from 4 to 6, he looks at all the pricing. And the red stuff is the stress, right? Is the stuff that he knows he needs to put a little more juice on, or figure out, or if he can suggest to our customer service team to call a driver, or call a company, or call someone, and it's worked. We've seen it work. I don't remember who came up with this. I'd like to take credit for the red, but it's definitely a hot button inside of our 4 walls.
Since because you guys have a pretty robust app, when you started, did you guys have an app, or was that something that came afterwards?
No, we had an app. I mean, I'd say a very minimal kind of use app where we actually started with video. We thought video would be better, and it
Okay.
to do the BOL, and
Uh-huh.
I just it wasn't didn't quite get accepted like we thought it was. So then we just moved to all pictures. They can download a video in there, which we've seen.
Uh-huh.
I just had one last week where the guy did it because the car it was a really beat up. It was a 2011 older Mercedes C-Class, but it was super beat up. So the guy took a bunch of pictures and he took a video and he downloaded it also. But no, we had the app since the beginning. It's definitely changed a lot to try and make the driver's life easier, and then to give more information to the dealer when they're logging on to their desktop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would assume that's probably made a huge difference in the time for transportation. Um, what other? Because the last time you were on, we were talking about some of the features. Maybe just give us, a highlight of some of the features that the dealerships are using that really have made a difference.
I think the main feature with our app is these drivers' ability to self dispatch a load. So when you look at a lot of these other companies, it's got their business hours, and it's usually 9 to 6 Monday to Friday, 12 to 3 on Saturday, or something like that. And we have hours too where dedicated people are there answering the phones,
Mm-hmm.
but these drivers have the ability 24 hours a day to go in the app and dispatch loads to themselves and even pick them up without speaking to anyone. I mean, I couldn't even guess how many loads are done by a transporter who dispatches it to himself, gets the gate pass, and delivers the car, and then gets paid without ever even speaking to anyone at Autosled. Um, and
Wow.
it's really interesting, yeah, because a lot of these guys too, they're sitting there, they're about to pull their truck over at 3 in the morning, get some rest, and they can say, okay, well, oh, here's 3 loads out of an auction right here. That's not too far from me. Let me assign it to myself, and when I wake up, I'm going to go grab them. Um, and I think it really makes a difference in the speed.
Oh my
Yeah, we're
goodness.
we're
I
we're
can't
seeing we're
imagine it
seeing a
wouldn't.
little
That's
over
efficient.
80% of them.
You've got
We're
a
seeing a little
customer
over.
actually giving you
Oh,
some praise on that front.
okay.
So
Oh,
let
I
me throw
didn't see
that
it.
back up there. This is John Singo. He says we're saving on every move, getting cars faster with Autosled, down roughly $85 per move, and they're
Hmm.
arriving in an average of 3 days versus the previous average of 7. So
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
that's a
that's the
Yeah,
goal. That's huge. Thanks, John. That's much
thanks, Tom.
appreciated. But that's the goal. I mean, the self dispatch part is we're seeing. Last quarter was 81%. I just got the number this morning. But so 80% we're seeing self dispatch, which means there's no conversation. Not a paid advertisement. There you go.
no, I can vouch
Hey
for
man,
Singo. I go we go way
send some
back with
barbecue to
him.
John, please.
Yep.
Send some barbecue. But we yeah. So 80%. So without hands free, and that's what it needs. And look, the ultimate goal is 100%, where it's hands free and they can get it to the dealer, but as quick as possible.
The other thing,
so he said prior.
I was going to
I
say
was
the
just
other
going to
thing
say.
we've
So he said
updated. Oh,
prior.
go ahead, teams.
I was just say John had mentioned prior it was 7. Now it's down to 3. I mean, that's a huge jump. But I always figured the standard, from what I always heard, was between 10 and 14 days. So to get it down to 3,
No, I
am I
mean
wrong on that?
our internal talk is, and this is what I learned as a really young salesperson and manager, was when the check's written and the hammer's down, right? The clock starts, right? So if you buy
Mm-hmm.
it at the auction today, the clock starts. You're ultimately trading money or sending a check or whatever floor plan. So the clock starts for the dealer, right? I don't know. Everyone has a
Yeah.
different turn. If it's 30 days, 45, 60, 90, whatever their turn is. So the clock starts. I mean, 14 days. I mean, wow. I mean, an environment that I grew up in and really learned to use cars. We had a 45-day turn. So you're talking about what, 30%, 35% of its life is sitting there either at the auction or on a truck. That's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Can't happen. Yeah. So that's that again. That's the stress of we want to get it there, and that's the pressure. That's what we tell. I mean, look, in the customer service people, they've never worked in a car dealership, most of them, so they don't understand that. Once the dealer
Hmm.
buys it and the bids accept it, that the clock starts. Right, money's out the door, and
When I would start it, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, that's what we tell them. Hey, we want to be a partner, so we feel like hey, they've got to get it quick so they can get it state inspected, CPO'd, whatever, and then market it, right?
Through the
And
shop.
that and then so we've been trying to explain to them, hey, if a shop, let's just call it 2 days in a shop. We can't
Or
take
two
14
weeks.
days, right? Yeah. Well, okay. Come on, let's be
Back
let's
order
be fair.
part.
Let's be fair to our service people out there.
I mean, every car needs tires and wipers, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Well,
Is that
it's
is that because he said 3 days for transporting?
so
Is that what
that
you've?
group I believe is close to 400 miles, like 380. So that's from the minute it goes into the our system when we get the
Oh,
order from them to the minute it's dropped off and one of their employees signs for it. Signs the transporter app.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
impressive.
I believe that they get delivered during their business hours.
Hmm.
So yeah, so that's so I don't know if it's exactly 400 miles. I think it's a little bit less, like 380, 390, but in 3 days.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm looking at a report on my computer. I mean, there's one dealer who's 970 miles last month, 232 units, 5.3 days. So that's a lot of mileage.
That's
Yeah,
that's a
that
lot of
dealer's
miles.
not scared to go across the country, which is, and I'm hoping. What I like about that and with my conversation with that dealer is I hope we've given you confidence to go halfway across the country, to be willing to go
Yeah.
1,000, 1,200 miles, know that you're going to get it in 5.5 days, 6 days, and you're not waiting 2, 3 weeks, then have to get it through the shop. I hope it's a little faster than that 2 weeks you said, Alex, but and they can get it on the lot hopefully within the first week, and not a couple weeks.
Well,
What
if you've
about
got confidence like that, I mean, you've really opened up your marketplace. Like I
Yeah.
said, be able to pick a state, you find the right car. You're not worried about that transportation. And that just makes everything that much easier to get that inventory on your dealership lot.
well, I'll throw an
Yeah, there's a
idea
cut.
there.
Go
So,
ahead.
and I don't know how much this would help you at Autosled, but I'm going to get some dealers thinking here. So, um, we the Checkered Flag, where I came from, we had a Hyundai franchise, and it was no problem to get all-wheel drive Santa Fe's all day long, no problem. But nobody in Virginia Beach drove an all-wheel drive vehicle nor needed one. Two-wheel drive's it, and if you need four-wheel drive, you're just trying to drive on the beach in North Carolina. So up here in Vermont, there's Burlington Hyundai, and they can't sell a two-wheel drive Santa Fe. Everybody up here has to have
Yeah.
four-wheel drive.
Why would that even be on the lot?
So Checkered Flag could order all these four-wheel drives, but Burlington Hyundai could order all the two-wheel drives, and then we'd swap, just do these big swaps of vehicles that we couldn't get down to Virginia Beach when they would just send us all the four-wheel drives we could ever want and beyond, and blah blah blah. So if you're in a warmer climate and you're struggling to get two-wheel drives or things that your customers would really like, but it's very easy to get things that your customers don't want. Maybe think about some of the dealers in other climates that you could swap with and
Hmm.
call Autosled to make the bulk transfers.
Yeah,
Why
that's
would a
awesome.
dealership? Why would a dealership at your parts even have a two-wheel drive vehicle in the lot?
Well, have you met a manufacturer?
So I've got a story on that. My college roommate, his dad was retired as Southwest Regional Manager, Ford Division, years ago. He told me one that the Southwest region was getting 60% 4-wheel drive trucks, and that there was another region in the country that was only getting 40 that has a lot more snow. And that's how powerful Texas and some of those are, because they need them
Mm.
for off road and that kind of stuff. But he's like, yeah, there's basically another region getting not the right amount of 4-wheel drive trucks. It's pretty interesting. But they could sell them down in Texas and they could make money and probably higher volume. But
Well,
that's how
Virginia
that's
also,
the that's to answer your question. Yeah.
yeah, Virginia sells a lot more Hyundais than Vermont.
Yeah.
There is that too.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So there was another thing that came up the other day. Something about insurance claims and fraud that's starting to rear its ugly head.
Yeah, especially especially out on the West Coast. Been hearing a lot more
I
about
mean,
that.
I think we've had some claims for dealers, and we basically tell the dealer when they sign up. I mean, we verify insurance with the drivers. We have an umbrella policy, but in the event of something happening, which in this business it probably will at some point, just get us the pictures and an estimate, and we'll basically take care of the process. And I know Dave definitely suffered through it a little more, but we've paid dealers on some bigger claims within a month, and then a year late. I mean, and that's coming out of our pocket, and then we're waiting, up to a year to hopefully get the money back from the insurance company. If we even get it at all,
Wow.
because we feel they shouldn't have to worry about it, and it wasn't our truck, but it was moved with us, and we make sure that they're not the ones having to sweat an insurance company for a year trying to get paid back.
Mm-hmm.
This
Yeah,
has
it's a
been
pain.
the worst time in automotive insurance history. So the insurance companies are getting it in a multitude of ways. I was going to say 3. Let me see if I can make it 3. So when a vehicle is wrecked, it is taking longer to repair because of the parts supply chain. It's more expensive to repair. I'll put those two together. So then it means that the customer's in a rental car longer. So the costs of all of those things are through the roof for them. And then finally, in some states, there's some things that are going on. Some of those states might be like, I know Maryland, I think, New York, Illinois, California, Massachusetts, I know Vermont. So some of these states that they might have some different kind of regulations and things that are making it harder for the insurance carriers, which are driving up their costs in those places as well. Then, of course, Florida, with their natural disasters, has been rough. So some states are a little better, other states aren't.
Yeah, we're seeing the time that these insurance companies are dragging things out. It's got to be at unprecedented levels. I mean, we just got one of the ones Sam's referring to, 11 months, $63,000. We paid the dealer 11 months ago. It took us 11 months to get the $63,000 back. I mean, it was. It was to the point where, like, I think we ought to drive over there and like picket or get the CEO when he gets out of his or her car. It was just so bad. I mean, I was sending LinkedIn messages. I found the CEO and some of the executives. I was sending LinkedIn messages like, "Here's the claim number. This is ridiculous." And then once it got approved, it took 90 days for them to send us the money. 90 days. I was like, it's been approved 90 days. So I mean, look, that and it was frustrating for everyone. We made the dealer whole pretty quick, but it was, man, it's like they just don't care. So
did that work?
I don't know exactly what your question
was,
but who thought John's stories are just bad.
Well, I just like your idea of jumping on LinkedIn and maybe finding out who you need to find. I'm dealing with I mean, Allstate just screwed my ass this week with some homeowners insurance, with some roofing I mean, blatantly, it was so obvious that they came up with the dumbest excuse not to accept the claim. I never considered maybe finding out who,
I'm
was
telling you, if you go to
up the
LinkedIn and
chain,
find out,
man. Find them on LinkedIn and let's start trolling their ass.
you will get you will get a call back almost immediately from the corporate office, and and hey, I'm so and so, I'm a spokesman for the, I don't want to name the insurance company, but and I was like, oh, okay, great, yeah, I just sent three people, the COO, the CEO, and the CFO. I sent them these messages like, yes, and like, just a little. It's like 4 or 5 sentences how ridiculous the situation was, and I get a call back, and it still took 90 days, but I just like I almost felt better. But we'll look into it and we'll
Yeah,
have someone else. Yeah, yeah, try it. They'll call you. They
I
monitor LinkedIn.
I may. I may. Yeah, they're denying my claim because, I want to find what the root of the issue was, and uh I removed two small sections of shingles, and since I touched it and moved them, they feel as if I could have moved those shingles on purpose.
Mm, right,
Look,
So,
Twitter
right.
made
Sounds
Comcast get better.
that's true.
Remember
Yeah, I
all
could hit them up
all
on
the
Twitter
heat
as well.
Twitter Comcast used to get on Twitter years ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do
yeah,
remember. Yeah.
yeah. It's funny.
Thanks
LinkedIn
for
gets
the
response.
idea.
Just sounds like you need a little common sense, poke to them on LinkedIn. Yeah, you'll get someone to call back.
Yeah.
Well, they're
I'm
just doing
curious. I'm
whatever they
curious how
can
quick
to
it
not pay
happens
out.
because
Yeah.
it wasn't Allstate that we were dealing with, but man, they called right back or called me. Pretty interesting.
I got photos and timestamps and everything. So
Yeah, that's it's again like you said, it's such an unprecedented time. They just so much going on, but they are. I've never seen things this slow. It's unbelievable how
are
long it's just
you
taken to
is
get decisions
would you
made.
say that's would you say that's maybe one of the strong points, one of the strongest points that separates you from the competition is the fact that you're willing to go out of your way and do that for the dealerships? I mean, I would think, if I was a large group or or it doesn't matter,
Yeah,
that
yeah. I mean,
that benefit alone would probably encourage me not to use anyone else.
I look, yeah, I hope it is what set something that would set us apart. But I just think about I spent 24 years in a dealership. I don't know who's qualified or who's going to take the time or keep following up on this stuff, right? And you don't
Hmm.
want to put that on anyone in your dealership. Hey, because literally
It's a
11
time
months on
suck.
this one situation. Follow up, send it. And it's just got to the point where one time I'm like, we've submitted this one document 3 times. Can you not figure this out? And like you said, timestamp. Here it was on this date, this time, this date. I'm like, come on, guys, come on. And then you know what happens? You get the, oh well, we took that person off of it. They moved to this other department, and now it's on. So yeah, I just don't think it's fair for the dealer to have to be so stressed out about this and following up and do. They have enough going on in their dealership,
Yeah.
and as competitive as everything is, they got it's. So we want to take that burden off them.
It's a hell of a benefit, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, as I like,
Yeah.
the thing I keep hearing over and over again is you all have accountability in spades between watching the red and knowing to call the driver if need be. You're just on top of things. You're taking a lot of the headache out of the transaction. Um,
Yeah,
so
it's.
and it
I mean,
creates speed.
well, I'm sitting here because I was a frustrated dealer dealing with it and waiting for and receiving a million calls and texts and emails, and so yeah, I just want to make it simple for the dealer. That's I just and we know if we treat the drivers better and gave them a different, good product, that they would provide a better uniform experience to the dealers. That's pretty simple.
Hmm.
Uniform experience to the dealers. They deserve it. They're and if it's funny because I feel like no one gives the dealers the credit, but they fund the whole industry, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they're funding the whole industry, and a transporter will drop off here's your bill of lading. It's on a cocktail napkin, or it hadn't, but so that's why the app was built. Got to have a uniform experience so they can see pictures and they can see, how it was picked up and how it was received. And we just want to make it as easy as possible for the dealers. And we
do you
probably
guys
need to do a
provide?
better job.
No, I was just going to ask. Do you guys provide a service outside of the dealerships? Do you have a direct to consumer? Do you work
Yes.
with Bring a Trailer? I don't know if you're
Yeah.
familiar with them or not, or some of the different outlets like that. Do you
Yeah,
work with them
we
as well?
we have some
Okay.
auctions we work with. We have construction companies we work with. We have definitely direct to consumer. That
Okay.
portal is actually being upgraded right now. That I believe that'll be totally done by the end of the year, where to hopefully have a better experience for Mr. and Mrs. Snowbird, or even if the dealer just wants to hand one off if they've sold a car. It's like, hey, just go to the
Yeah.
site and
Yeah.
Or when I find my unicorn.
Yeah.
It's going to be a
Your
2-wheel
unicorn?
drive. Get you up there. But we anyone moving a car. We actually have some
Okay.
government stuff that we're working on too. Should come to fruition this quarter.
Good for you.
Yeah, anyone moving a car.
Okay.
Nice.
Is that you said it's a different portal or a different experience for the consumer? It's the same website though?
Same website. Yeah, it's just
Okay.
an upgrade. It's a
Okay.
working of it, so we could just make it easier for them. Because we feel like what's going to happen, or what is happening, what we're seeing is that the dealer might want to hand off some of the retail. They make the sale, and instead of them being in the
Mhm.
middle and the salesperson, the manager, whoever, getting the calls from the customer, where's this? Where's my car? What time's this happening? And that the customer could just go right into the portal and build their own account.
Yeah.
And then just deal directly with us, so we could kind of take out, again, the salespeople and the managers have a lot going on. I was one of them, so I get it. We're getting on to the next situation, and hopefully that customer's happy. But we feel like we can take it and still keep the dealer experience and get it delivered at a high standard.
Yeah. Once it gets past a certain range, that's how we deal with it as well.
Yeah.
And of course, we will extend the referral over to you guys, but we've had quite a few customers. Someone gets not too long ago G-Class from California. We don't have a way of getting that transported out, so I'm like, check out Autosled. They'll be able to take care of this for you.
Good.
So
Yeah,
it works smooth. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So,
Good.
any suggestions? Again, we want to make the dealer's life easier. So, any wide open, call, text, whatever. I just want to hear it. So, if we can help improve and make your life a little easier, that's the goal.
Excellent.
Well, that sounds like a good spot to end on.
Good. Well, we appreciate your time.
Thanks
guys.
for having us.
It was fun.
No, thank you. It's again, we've said this last time. I think we had you on, David. It's sort of, it's a side of the industry not everyone's thinking about. Of course, dealerships do all the time, but they sort of get stuck with maybe the provider they've always using, or maybe they brought it in house, and having it in house, I'm sure, has its pros and cons. But to be able to farm that out to a reputable transportation company that's got their shit together and has it down to the speed and efficiency that you guys have been able to do, I mean, why would you consider anything else? So that's awesome.
All right, guys. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thanks so much.
Hey, thank you. Make it a great weekend. See you guys.
Okay. You as well.